here's an excellent ride for many of you that are considering cycling the whole length of the Basingstoke Canal. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to explore the back end of Aldershot and of the Basingstoke Canal, starting at Aldershot, and you can see we're following along the top of that map there, following the Basingstoke Canal all the way along to the Greywell Tunnel, and then we're going to turn back, and you can stop the video at that point, or we can return on the road with us. And we want to try and see what the road surfaces are like. So we're going to start in a car park on the Fleet Road just outside of Aldershot, and it's right by a bridge, and you literally cross over the bridge, and then it's to the left of when you're looking at the bridge, but you turn right. So here we are following along the canal, and you'll see that it's very meandering. We go past several lakes and we work our way along, and on this ride we actually did stop, but I'll show you the rest of it. So we stopped just outside Odium, just before you get to the old castle, and then we follow back through the roads. We even went wrong in Crondall, you can see, I'll cut that bit out, and then return round back through a park to a military park, actually, back to the starting point. A ride of about 20 odd miles. So here we are, starting from the car park, and we cross over the bridge, and then we follow round in a bit of a circle and drop down and follow the canal path. Now if you're used to cycling around Woking, you'll find this is a very, very different sort of surface. It's much more route crossed and gravelly. It's much harder, and you'll see that later on it's almost completely overgrown at each side, and we were pushing through nettles and brambles and things. So if you're going to tackle this route, I would say that if it's a time, particularly after it's been raining and the plants are leaning over, definitely recommend longer trousers for a bit of extra protection against the thorns and the briars. So we're heading now sort of north-east, and you'll see the quality of the path here. We go under several bridges, and there's quite a few fishermen as well. So here on the outskirts of Aldershot still, sorry about my jacket coming over the front of the camera, I'll sort it out in a second. There we go. The surface here isn't too bad. One of the things is it's not particularly wet. There were very few puddles. It had rained not long beforehand. There's a couple of my lads cutting some trees. We work our way through past this car park and past the back of these garages, really, under a very, very low bridge, and down towards a stopping place for the canal boats. The surface here, again, not too bad, fairly level, fairly flat, but it does tend to get a little bit stony in this point. Past another visitor centre. Now we're heading off towards the sort of the northern part, north of Odium, quite considerable, and you can see how overgrown it's getting. Now there's a bit of a bankment on the right, and actually at times it feels like you're sliding into the water, but it's still navigable at this point, and we get past a couple of these houses, and then we're going to stop up here. We had a quick lunch, not very far up, but it's very pretty and very tranquil when you get to this section, and there's quite a lot of boats here, and it's been done up as a nature reserve. Quality of the surface now getting a bit narrower, and you see a little bit more overgrown, and there are times back here when there are brambles and nettles and bracken right across the road. This bit is at times almost impassable. Past a couple of pillboxes. We're being assailed all along by hazel and nettle, so work our way up here. Fields on our right now, and some tricky bridges to get underneath. Some of them are quite low, and the path isn't very wide, and you'll have to lean quite a bit. Past some fishermen. This section here, the bracken had been cut back by some of the householders, but other than that, it was pretty overgrown at times. The surface here breaks up quite frequently. Definitely I would recommend bigger tyres, not road tyres on any of this. So we work our way along now. It's opening out a bit. There's another car park here, and we're stopping at one of the car parks where you can stop. There are picnic tables and plenty of parking around. It's an alternative place to start. So this one's just outside Winchfield. So we're back onto the canal towpath now, work our way along. Quite a rural section this, so it was very quiet, although you can hear the motorway in the distance. But again, the bridges get lower and there's more frequent really as we start to change into a more crisscross place with roads around. So again, another low bridge, and this bit particularly bad for the nettles and the sloping path. So if you've got children with you, just be careful with them. Make sure they don't slide into the water. And as we head up here, we start to see that waterway itself becomes less and less navigable. And the point where we did stop was about the last point that you would gladly take a boat, at least. It's starting to narrow down now. There are some boats here, another little car park that we have to cross, and then we're back round onto the canal. This section has been well looked after. The vegetation does hang over a little bit, but it's quite a nice surface here. But then we start to enclose in as we get away from the houses. And following along the last of the canal, and this bit is barely navigable. Trees in the water, very clogged. And here we are at the end. Well, the end of this section. Now, in the video, I'm actually going to turn left here. But what we're going to do is, I'm just going to show you the section carrying on. There's a small castle you can see if we just carry on up the canal towards Greywell. There's a castle, and then we get to the Greywell Tunnel, and then we'll stop. And on that ride, we'll carry on. So here we go. We're just going to go a little bit further on. Follow the canal up. It is just very slightly navigable, but at this point we find this old castle dating back to June 1215 it says, and it's pretty much falling down, but it's been preserved as a monument. So we're going to rejoin the canal now. Occasionally you get a fisherman back there, and we're just going to head our way up to the Greywell Tunnel. The canal originally used to proceed beyond this point, but it's a long tunnel, and the roof collapsed around here maybe about 60-70 years ago, and no one's ever done anything with it. It's been closed off, and the land beyond has been sold on. So this is formally the end of the Basingstoke Canal, and at this point we hike ourselves up over the top, and I'm showing you the return over here. Let's go back to where we were. There's the castle that we've got, and we're now going to take that turn you can see on the left hand side and work our way back via road now. So I'd like to thank you for joining us. You can follow us on this next bit if you want to see what the return route is like, but it's nearly all road. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We've got, I think, nearly 60 subscribers, which isn't a huge number, but it's enough for me. But I'd love you to join up. We've got loads of rides, particularly in the southeast, and if you're anywhere along the canal, then we've got loads and loads of rides there, including trips down to Hampton Court and Kingston from the Woking Bisley area. We're based just outside Bisley, on the edge of Bisley, and not far from the canal. So if you're in Bisley, Brookwood, Woking, Knapp Hill, West End, St John's, anywhere like that, We've got loads of rides that you can do. We've also got several in the Yorkshire Dales, many in the Yorkshire Dales, quite a few in Scotland, and more to be edited up, including a wonderful trip all the way around the Isle of Arran and across to the no, it wasn't Arran. Well, we have got one round Arran, but also around the Isle of Mull and across to Iona. Got Snowdonia, loads of different parts of the country, so feel free to join us. And I'm just prattling here, so I'm going to let you go. Okay, take care and see you in the next video. Bye.